Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Sorry for the delay in the video dropping. I've been on vacation and then I got sick and then I got stuck at my parents' house because of weather. If you live in the Midwest, you know, we've been getting thrown around over here with these tornadoes and stuff. I'm excited to finally talk about this Sun Bear compressor that Safari Pedals released probably a week ago now. I also saw that Michael Brower talked about it and shouted them out or whatever, which is pretty sick. Kind of cool to see him use this plugin and stuff. And we all know somebody that really loves compressors and compression. And now in the box, now plugins, it's definitely going to be him. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe, check out my other videos, check out my links below for Safari pedals, plugin discounts for waves. I'm partnered with Sound ID now, so if you're thinking about getting anything from them, go check that out. Z Sounds, if you want to buy any gear or plugins, you can use my Z Sounds link. It's all linked below. Check it out. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's jump into the video. We have the Sun Bear bus compressor by Safari Pedals. Shout out to them. They sent this to me about a month ago, a little over a month ago now. As advertised, it's just a bus compressor, but it's more than that. You have a little bit of saturation down here. You have this gravity and glue button. Basically, the gravity, essentially, just like it sounds, is going to add a little bit more air to the signal. And the glue is just going to be a little bit more thicker of a sound, a little bit more chunkier. And you can also see that you can put this compressor into mid-side mode. So you can see you have a mid inside that you can switch this on. Input, output, obviously, if I haven't said that already. We have this wild button up here, which is essentially going to add a little bit more energy to the track. You can kind of think of it as a parallel kind of thing. Not saying that's exactly what it's doing, but it is something that it reminds me of that it does. And then you have an auto gain. You have 3 windows right here, shows your output, input. And then when you hover over your threshold, attack, release, ratio, sidechain filter, you can see that those numbers will pop up there, so you can get a visual on that. We have a built-in clipper, which we'll talk about. We have oversampling. If you're into that, you can throw that on. You have a blend knob, which is, you know, like a mix knob basically. And then you have an on and off switch for the entire unit itself. You have your manual input and output meter. You can see kind of dark, but you can see when we play signal. And you can see that it looks like this compressor is kind of sitting on a bear essentially, which is kind of cool. And you can resize your window down here. But this track may sound familiar. It's actually from a video that Joe Carroll dropped today, I think, as of this video. He provided free stems and they sounded really good. I watched the video. It was a great video. I think he did a collaboration with Warm Audio or whatever, but shout out to Joe for providing these to the public for free. Yeah, like I said, it sounded good. They were super clean, obviously recorded very well and produced in all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? This would be a good song or little track to use for this compressor demonstration. Anyways, you can see that I went through and did a little mix on it or whatever and did my own thing to it and stuff. But let me go ahead and play that just so you can hear what we're listening and messing with today with this compressor. So yeah, pretty straightforward. You can hear, obviously, we got some drums, bass, we got some guitar, we got electric guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. We got a little bit of piano, a little bit of organ action. We got a little bit of everything, which is a perfect example to use this. Because I really do think this track makes this compressor shine a little bit, which is very, very handy. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna just throw it on. I think these are just settings that I had on that I was messing with, so this isn't default settings. But let's listen and hear what's going on just by throwing it on. So obviously there's a level bump for sure. Because with this bus compressor, you're essentially pushing into the compressor instead of just adjusting your threshold. You have to kind of adjust your input and how much you want to feed into the compressor. You can see that this is at default, I believe. Yeah, so -2 is its default, and then you're going to just compensate with your output. So yeah, let's go ahead and set this compressor and see what we got going on. a lot going on when you want a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely hear with the wild button that it's adding definitely way more energy. I don't know if it's like a parallel thing going on or anything like that, but there is something that's familiar tone that's being added. But I ended up keeping the wild button on because I think it does sound really cool and it can bring a little bit more energy or life back to your track, especially if you're going for a little bit more compressed sound maybe, or there was something in the track that you just couldn't get. I think the wild button can come in handy. And I ended up keeping the gravity and the glue instead of the glue because I do like the little bit of airiness that it adds to it. And then the saturation, I mean, you can hear it, it's very aggressive, not in a bad way necessarily, just use it lightly if that's what you're going for, you know what I'm saying? But they both sound good. The tape is definitely way more grittier and dirtier sounding, you know. I mean, the clipper is useful because if you're mixing into this, which I suggest mixing into it, on the song that I decided to keep this bus compressor on, I was mixing into it. So, you know, I would suggest trying that out, which is why I think I kept the clipper on. I didn't have to keep an eye on my mix bus as much. Pretty straightforward as far as like the threshold and attack and release, kind of just setting it to where I would like it and the amount of compression I want, but it's a pretty cool compressor. I'm definitely going to throw this in my template for sure. I'm not replacing my bus compressor, but it is going to be there as an option. I think giving yourself options is always a good thing. The Sun Bear bus compressor. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Sorry about being a little sick still, but you know, hopefully next video I won't be sick. But if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, check out my other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.